Hello, my friends. In this training, I am going to talk to you about how to get an aerial view of your life. We're going to talk about what that means, why it's important, what it can change, how it can support you, and then how to do it, and what to expect after and how to maintain it as well. Come in, everybody. Hello. All right, happy to have some of you in here. Okay, so last week I began a series on really just running your home in a way that feels better, running your home in a way that feels really good to you, a way that's actually working, a way that is just lighter. And so today we're going to continue that conversation and we're going to talk about getting an aerial perspective of your life. Hi, Brandy. Thank you. So this is one of the practices that I teach in Unburdened, which if you're looking for deep diving and like life coaching without the life coaching price, go get Unburdened. It is a passive program. It is one of my signature programs. And I currently have more spots available at the insanely low price point. It's normally $800. It is $297 right now for a handful of more people. There are still spots available. I opened up 200 spots last week and then didn't talk about it for like days and days and days and days because I was busy, but it's still there. Link is in my bio. Go grab that. It's everything. It's a very meaty course that will change your entire life and your family. This is something that can come in really handy. Like today, I had like a crazy day. I was getting all my stuff done and feeling good. And then I had like a call from the school. I had to go pick up my kid and like just got home and like a bunch of crazy stuff happened. And I was sitting there and just thinking like, man, if this it used to be where I lived my life where if one thing happened, one small thing happened, like someone got sick or someone got hurt or I had to run to an appointment that I forgot about or anything came up at all, it felt like my life was being lived like super tightly stretched, like saran wrap over a casserole and like one poke and the whole thing collapses and falls apart and everything gets spoiled. And that's not a good feeling. When you feel like you're stretched so thin, one thing happening, one thing going wrong, one argument with your spouse or partner, one unforeseen financial crisis happening, one unforeseen event happening, one appointment forgotten, and like everything just falls apart. You're totally screwed. Things aren't getting done. That's not a good feeling. You're running on fumes, basically. And so had to go pick up my kid at the last minute and like deal with a bunch of crazy stuff today. And I was sitting there with him thinking like, man, if this would have happened a few years ago, this would have just derailed so much. Like I had so much on my list for today and so much that I was like looking to get done that I was excited about getting done. I've been really productive this week. And if I was relying on all of that to get done for things to function, then this thing with my child needing me to go take him somewhere at the last minute would have just derailed everything. And it's not like that anymore. Something can come up. Like there's space for life to happen. There's space for mistakes. There's space for me to take a day off. There's space for me to just be really tired or PMSing and just want to rest. There's space for a random like school pickup like today to happen. There's space because I've created that space. And that's what my teaching is all about. That's what Unburdened is all about. And that's what today's practice is about. So we talked about creating rhythms and anchors last week. We talked about getting your family on board with those things and having things kind of automated and bringing in a culture of teamwork last week. And we talked about kids and chores last week. Today, we're going to talk about coming above your life. So I often will say the problem is that you're stuck in the weeds of your own life. What that means is you're stuck in the details. You're too close to it. You're really stuck in like the muck of the details of your life. You're stuck overthinking. You're too close to it. If anyone here is a business owner, this happens a lot with businesses too. You get too close to it. You're too emotionally involved in the business. You're too stuck in the details and the behind the scenes and the funnels of everything that's attached to what's happening on the front end. You get too stuck in the weeds, and that's why you really almost always need a coach of some kind to kind of have a non-emotionally attached aerial perspective over your business and help get you out of where you're stuck. That's what we're going to do with our lives, but you can do that with yourself. You can do that with yourself in your life, for sure. I'm going to teach you how to do that. There's an entire deep dive thing about this in Unburdened, but we're going to go over the basics today. So the benefits of having an aerial perspective of your life are many, but some of the main ones are, like I just said, it takes you out of the weeds. It helps you kind of see like, there's a lot that's not working for me. There's a lot that is working for me, whatever the case is. It helps you get above being down, stuck in the details, being really stuck in the emotions of no one's helping me. It's just me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to make this better. Every day from 3 to 5, it just feels like a nightmare in our house, and it's so stressful and so tense. It's so annoying. Oh, here comes witching hour. I don't know what to do about it. I hate this. Like, it just gets you out of your patterns, your unhealthy rhythms, and the way that things have always gone, because we just kind of tend to accept that. And it helps you get above it and see, okay, I'm becoming aware of what is actually happening. Getting an aerial view of your life is really just about developing awareness. And awareness is the first step to change. When you have awareness, really in any area of your life, you can begin to bring positive changes and start to get more where you want to go. You're aware of yourself. You're aware of your patterns. You're aware of why things are the way they are, how they got here, why they've been this way for so long. And you are also becoming aware of some possible solutions to make things different, to get things more the way you want them to go. So the way that you get an aerial perspective as a mom over your life is to decide, first of all, just make the decision to become aware, okay? Become aware of how you're feeling. What are the issues? What's making you stressed out? What's not working? And write them down, talk them out to someone, talk them out to yourself, process internally, whatever your process is. I like to journal and I like to talk things out. I'm an external processor. So when I'm processing things efficiently and effectively, it's either got to come out of my mouth by talking to someone or talking it through with myself, or it's got to come out via a pen to paper. Okay, so find your process and start to process through these things. What is it that you're feeling? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel chaotic? What are the problems that you can think of? So let's go back to my earlier example. Maybe the hours of 3 to 6, like after school and before dinner, are just a nightmare for you and your family. It's super tense. You hate it. Everyone seems to hate it. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of sibling bickering. You're super done because of the whole day, and like you just want it. You just can't handle it anymore. That's a problem. Write that down. Maybe you consistently want to move your body and exercise, but you never make it happen. That's a problem. Write it down. Maybe you want to cook healthier meals, but it just seems like it takes too long and you always end up getting Taco Bell. Write that down. Whatever it is, you're finding the gaps in your life. You're becoming aware. Really sit and think, what tends to be the problem? I feel like no one ever helps me. Write that down. Just whatever it is, just get it out. Then from there, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, okay, these are presenting to me as problems. Really, they are also solutions. Because if it wasn't for these problems, these symptoms happening in my weekly life, then I wouldn't know that I need things to change. And I'm grateful for these things. I'm going to use them to my advantage. So looking at those problems, you're then going to take a new piece of paper in your journal, and you're going to start to or talking externally, processing, whatever. You're going to start to brainstorm solutions for each one. So what are some possible solutions to the whole hours of 3 to 6 are just like awful in your house and it's super tense and you hate it? What are some things that you could do? Well, maybe we could set a mood when the kids come home from school, change the environment. We know from following Allie that your environment affects you. Maybe you could light a candle. Maybe you could play some calming music. Maybe you could get a natural supplement that really helps balance your mood or balance your kids' moods, or I don't know, brainstorm. And then every problem goes like that. You just start to brainstorm, what could support me? I'm getting an aerial view over my life. Things don't need to be like this anymore. I'm not available for things to keep going like this. So what are the issues? And how can I begin to kind of ideate and create solutions for those issues? This is what in Unburdened I call getting into the mindset of an action-taking, problem-solving woman. This is not someone that takes things, just lying down and like takes life, just, oh, whatever, if it's happened to me, oh, my day was so crappy today, I had the worst day today, it was just like a pile of shit, I'm so done, I don't want to do it anymore, I just want to veg out, numb out, Netflix, whatever, order Taco Bell, I'm done. This is not someone who does that all the time. We all have our days. Okay, I literally did basically that last week. It's fine. But when you're living in that place where it's happening all the time, okay, that's survival mode. And we don't raise our kids in survival mode. We don't subscribe to survival mode as a place for doing life from. Survival mode has its place and we take it when we need it, but that's not where we set up camp and live our lives and like raise our families. Does that make sense? So you're getting an aerial view, you're shifting your perspective, you're taking control, you're becoming an action taker, you're becoming a problem solver rather than staying in like this victim sort of mentality in your life. Make sense? Some things you can ideate and they won't necessarily get much better. Maybe you have a child with really severe special needs and you already have the experts. You already have all the tools. You already have everything that you know to do, but it just is really, really hard. Okay, that's a fixed issue. Okay, and you can choose to see it as a problem or you can choose to see it as something more positive. That's your spirituality, that's your mindset, that's your issue. Other things are more flexible, other things are more pliable, other things can actually be changed and worked with. So we're gonna focus on what we can change, not hyper-fixate on what we cannot change right now. Okay, so we're gonna stay positive and we're gonna have that action-taking, problem-solving mentality. We're gonna carry it through everything. So let's say, because I saw someone ask, let's say that we're gonna go back to the other example where you wanna bring movement and exercise into your day every day, but you just consistently don't do it. Why don't you do it? Check inner game first. Inner game is your mindset and your beliefs about something. So let's see, do you have a belief that people that exercise are really annoying? Maybe you grew up with a really unhealthy family that made fun of people who were really fit and prioritized the gym, and you have this voice in the back of your head about that. Deal with that. Maybe you actually don't really want to exercise because you hate exercise, or the way that you typically would go exercise is not something that makes you light up. So find a different method of moving your body and exercising. Maybe you just need to go for walks. Do you realize how underrated walking is? It seriously is so good for you. It burns fat in the best, healthiest way. Go on a stationary bike. Get on an actual bike. Like, go outside and ride a bike. It is so good for you. Go join Pilates. Like, walking and Pilates are the two forms of movement that I really enjoy. And I would not work out unless I was doing those things. Now I'm doing those things and I exercise pretty much every day and I enjoy it. If I don't do it, I feel it, I notice it, I don't feel like myself. That's what you want. You need something that makes you feel good, not something that feels like you have to do it. So start to solutionize this issue. Does that make sense? Yes, Abby, any movement you enjoy is good movement. Agreed. So those are just some examples of how you can kind of start to ideate and brainstorm. When you do this, when you step into the version of you that is an action taker, a problem solver, does not subscribe to victim mentality, and goes and does things and makes things happen, your life starts to change. You now got out of the weeds, stood all the way up, and floated above the situation. You now have an aerial view over your life, and that is so powerful. Now, when something happens or you have a bad day or something comes up, it's less personal, it's less panicked. You have an aerial view over your life and you're like, you know what? This happens a lot. I think I need to make some space for these kinds of things to happen because I'm in the little years. I have little kids and things come up. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust and make some space for life to happen. I feel like I don't have any space for life to actually happen right now. And that's not how I wanna feel. I'm gonna remove things from my calendar. I'm gonna work less. I'm gonna shift things. I'm gonna change my hours that I work on my business. Whatever it is, you're ideating, you're solutionizing, you're making things happen because you got an aerial view of your business. What are some things that happen all the time that cause problems? You gotta be aware instead of just letting it continuously happen, instead of just being in victim mode, complaining that no one helps you, projecting your own issues with yourself and the way you're running your life as the CEO of your home and your life, projecting those insecurities and issues and fears on everybody else. Decide to take ownership. You're giving up your power too much. Don't give up your power to anyone that lives with you, to anyone that's around you, to anyone or anything else. You're in charge. You're in charge of so much. If you take that charge, you take that ownership, and you decide to get aerial over your life and decide to not get back in the weeds and run your life and your home from a different perspective, you will see things you didn't see before, and things will get easier. This is just the start of like so much. There's so much else. There is so much else. But for now, for today, get an aerial view over your life and see how you feel. See what new ideas come through. See what new solutions come through for you. And again, if you feel like you need this and like 500 other lessons like this, go get yourself Unburdened. Guys, it is literally never gonna be this low of a price. Again, it is $297. I opened up some spots last week. There are some left. The link is in my bio. It is normally $800. I only open it up twice a year. It is open and $297 right now. Go grab it, tell your friends. I'll see you in there. Hope this is helpful and supportive for you guys. Love you so much.